There we go. Okay. Oh, and now it's weird because everybody's in the picture. Oh, that's because it's my screen. I'm going to take you out. Oops. There we go. Okay. Let's start. Oh, kitty. Let's start with we're going to do a very flow oriented, breath oriented, and lymph. Yeah. So since I had COVID, and then I was in the city doing my performances, and I wasn't doing all of my practices every day like I normally do. And one of the things that fell by the wayside, not when I had COVID, but as soon as I went down to the city, was doing the lymph flush. So let's just breathe first. Inhale, open, get big. Ah, feel into your whole body. Exhale, you can shake it out, let it go. Inhale, open it up. And exhale, just shake, bounce. Relax your face, relax your tongue. Inhale, open. Exhale, shake, shake, shake. And let's just do a couple more like that. Inhale, big, long, tall, feeling what it feels like to be in your body right now. And never assume that it's going to feel exactly the same each time you do your moves. Could be a little different. So noticing what's different. Bringing your awareness into sensation and just into presence. Bringing your awareness online. Your awareness is always online, but you're not aware of it. So just bringing your awareness of awareness online and then spiraling. So I'm going to do this spiraling with a weight shift and I'm going to flex one foot. There's a few different ways to spiral. Well, there's a few different, always many ways to do things. So I always like to try and do a variety pack of the things. Uh, so there's the turning, flexing, getting that spiral. And then there's also the version where you don't turn and you get a little bit more of a spiral in your spine, seeing all the way behind you. This is great for your lymph. We've got a bunch of lymph that's running inside, well, inside of our whole body. Lymph is all over. And the more we get the movement happening really three-dimensionally, the better. The more we're getting a chance to squeeze and move that lymph through our bodies. Ah. So yeah, so like lymph is a natural flow that's going through our bodies. Let's rub our hands together and take the right hand into the left upper quadrant, right above your clavicle. And I also like to move my body a little bit as I'm doing this. So I'm not just still touching in, but I'm moving from underneath my hand, and my hand is moving the tissue on top. So I'm getting a lot of mobility in there. Moving that area. This is where all of the lymph is going to be going back into the bloodstream. So it's all coming back to filter and come back out. Same thing on the other side. And if this part is blocked, then we want to, that we're going to have problems. So clearing up the entry back into the back into the filtration system. And then this is my left hand on my right. Again, moving. I can really feel like what my collarbones feel like. Can feel like what the tissue in my neck and my skin feels like. And then the next place is coming up, angle of the jaw. And maybe each area has sort of a different tempo. Like for me, now that I'm coming up here and I actually want to feel in to what's going on in there, like is anything swollen? Yeah, and I have one that has been swollen actually since I had COVID right under here. So I just want to not poke it super hard or jam my fingers into it, but give some movement around it. And as I'm talking, there's the vibration of sound happening as well as my mouth and my jaw moving. My tongue. And then we're just going to go just a little bit gently behind your head around that occipital ridge. And we'll do one on our face. So I'm having a lot of sneezing and allergies this morning. So we're going to come in here, right next to your nose, and then do like a Little circle under your jaw, under your cheekbone. Squeaky. Got a squeaky deaky in here. Hey, staying out of the spotlight, but he's right there. Look how big he is. I was saying he weighs 12 pounds now. When I got him, he was just over 4 pounds. And now he's a big whopping 12. He's the athlete. The Peapod's a little bit of an athlete too, but she's more of the Special Olympics athlete. She's a little bit special. Good. Shake it out. Last one, heads going down. 10 little dragons running through the forest. Yeah, the Peapod with her Manx little tail doesn't quite have the agility, and she's just a little awkward and strange. He's got the white one has like digestive issues, and the Peapod has kind of like I don't know what her issues are, but she's got some. She's a little weirdo. All right, grabbing on to your left hand, sorry, right hand on your left armpit, armpit pec. And again, you can move around underneath that, getting in there. Lots of little lymph nodes in there. Change it to the other side. And if anything feels sore, then you want to maybe be softer, be gentler, take it a little bit easier. Listen to your body so that you're working in harmony with yourself. You're working in a coherent manner where you're listening and going, oh, yeah, that hurts a little. Just going to take it a little easy there. Then coming in, here's my belly button and my xiphoid process right in the middle. Cisterna that's the biggest one in your body. Taking it back. The cistern, right? Big holding tank of lymph. And I'm, again, moving my body around it. And if I kind of curl forward, I can get in there a little bit more. And then taking it to the inguinal fold between your hip bone and your pubic bone and the front of your hip bones. And then just going behind your knees. You can bend and straighten while you're there, feeling into it. Let's just walk our feet more open as we're down here and take it down to the floor, letting this all go. You can stop rubbing, just shifting from one side to the other. Maybe letting out some sound. Even a hum. So humming increases the nitric oxide in our body, which is good for all sorts of things. It is a antiviral, antibacterial, and antifungal nitric oxide. So we want it. It's good for us. Roll it up, coming all the way up to the top. Yeah, just give yourself a couple hums. And it doesn't have to last forever. Let's inhale open and then exhale. Round and close. Inhale open. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So like the whole lullaby thing, lulling, coming into that sound and vibration to calm our nervous systems, to like dial down. That's one thing we really want to do. Let's circle with the pelvis. So big circles. My pants are falling down. I think I know you needed to know that. Important factors of working out. Leggings, they fall down all the time. What is that? I'm just not shaped the right way. Change direction to keep them up. Good. And let's just do push off of one foot, push off of the other foot. So it's a big weight shift with straight legs, but you're working into your feet, pushing and pushing and pointing. You can go enough that one foot comes up, and then you're going to start to abduct on the outer leg, right? Kind of awkward, pushing from side to side. You can take your hands out like you're going to do a cartwheel, but really think about pushing off that foot. Push, push, push. Yeah, one of my clients that I've been working with, she's in her 70s and she's having all sorts of foot stuff going on. Like she's starting to get more awareness back into her feet. But it's like we're just working with all these different exercises for her to really feel into what it is to work your feet. And since let's plie, bend your knees and press up. Since we do so much shoe wearing and walking on flat floors and flat surfaces, our feet aren't getting the kind of aliveness and vibrance that they might if we were running around on rocks or at the beach every day. If you are running around on rocks and at the beach every day, lucky you. All right, so we're going to do one more after this. We're just getting that blood flow also to the peripheral edges of our body, right? When we work our feet, we're inviting that blood down in. I know a lot of people that have numbness in the edges of their body, fingers, toes, or coldness. It's like, well, of course, because the circulation has the most work to do to get out to those places, right? So if we give them more attention and awareness, we can start to bring that blood flow easing through our body through movement. Same with the lymph, right? Okay, so this is one of the things that I was doing to rehab when I hit my leg and hurt it when I fell off the pole. Just let me move it down so you can see better. And I'm going to do this on the harder floor, or at least on the carpet. So I'm going to go toe, heel, toe, and then come back, toes, heel. I'm letting my body turn with this, right? So there's a relationship of my leg all the way into my torso. Toes, heel, toes, heel, toes. I could go as far as I want. Heel, toes, heel, toes. Just shifting my weight. Let's go with the heel first. Heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. Bring it in, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. And you can sort of feel what has to happen for this to all work. Heel, toes, heel, right? There's this internal and external rotation going on. I'm feeling in the connection of my foot all the way into my psoas, all the way into my torso, right? I feel like that's been such a great exercise. Like so often we're just doing this forwards and backwards, but when we add this side, and you can go slow, you can go fast, just play with it, is adding this whole other relationship into our body. Let's take it down to the floor. Yeah, I called this one flow, lymph flow and breath or something like that, but really we're just doing a lot of, well, I guess it's all flow if we're present with our bodies and with our breath. Letting yourself settle in for a second, feeling your sit bones on the ground, and then let's circling the torso. Right? Anytime we're doing that lymph work, we're working on flow in our body. Working out to the edges of our fingertips is our blood flow, right? Working, or even our nerves, including the nervous system. Often in our body, I think most of the time, the nerves, the vascular system, and the lymph are traveling together kind of in these bundles. So if something's going wrong in one area, there may be stuff happening in the other area. Change direction if you haven't. Just go back and forth a few times. Maybe a little free flow, letting your rib cage, lungs, and head and spine have some freedom, right? It's one thing if we circle all the time like this. It's another thing if we start to free up the pattern so that we're doing movement that might be novel. Anytime we start doing new movement, then we're giving our body and our tissue a chance to do something different, and that might hydrate it more. Change legs. Non-dominant leg comes in front, and we're going to do the whole side circle. Sideways, taking it down over your knee, into center, other knee, sideways, and open it up. So listening into your body, like sometimes it feels good to do the stretches kind of in slow motion. We're moving, so we're not taking too long in one area. And sometimes it feels like, oh, I just want to stay there for a little while. So if you need to stay anywhere, go for it. There's this balance of movement and stretching. And on any given day, it could be sort of different what you need in your body. Let's spiral. Let's open up into a small straddle, something that's manageable, not your biggest thing. Again, pants are falling down. And let's take a bent knee and a twist, and then switch it to the other side. Bent knee and twist. And I'm flexing my feet. I'm spreading out my toes, changing. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Last one. So in the yoga, often we'll exhale on the breath on this twist, but the thing about inhaling on the twist is then we're lengthening our spines more. So we're finding that length even as we're going to a more extreme twist. Let's do it one more time with an inhale, and then we'll stay and exhale into it. So inhaling, going as far as you can, get tall, and then exhale, take it a little further. Breathe there. Just feel what happens in your body as you inhale and exhale. Then change it to the other side. Big inhale, so you're really lengthening your spine. Expansive. And then the exhale, maybe you can soften and go deeper into the stretch. Maybe not. For me, actually, I feel like I can go deeper when I inhale because I'm used to doing that way. Let's just take it forward a little bit with a cat-cow. So I'm not going to go all the way down to the floor yet. I'm going to flex and arch and then point and curl. Flexing through my heels, arching my spine, and then pointing and curling. If you're tighter, you can do this seated in the vertical. So there's a few possibilities, right? I can be here in the vertical. I'm now opening my legs more because that feels like what I need. So I'm going for a bigger stretch there. But I can also do this more forward. And then I get a little more stretch in my adductors and in my hamstrings, mostly in my adductors, but depending on how tight you are, it can be in a different place for you. So, opening, softening, reaching from the inside to the outside, and then hollowing, curling, softening. Two more. Arch and open. So we're getting all that spinal movement, and we're also getting this movement to the edges of our body, right, as we flex and point. And then come in. Let's take it down to the floor. And let's do some knee drops from side to side. So I think, depending on how old you are and what your relationship to movement is, like, oh, we had to do this at the gym when I was a little kid in school and I hated it, or, oh my God, it was so much fun, I loved it, or I took dance classes or whatever. Whatever your relationship to movement is, like, I think often in the fitness world and in the gym world, it's like, oh, you got to do it as hard as you can and feel like the most pain and this and that. But, and I'm not saying don't do things hard or don't go for the burn because that can be awesome too. But we want to think that there's a huge realm of possibility with movement. Like, and all of it's going to do something slightly different, right? Some things are going to like really get our blood pumping. Some things are going to really get that lymph moving. Ideally, those things are both happening together. Some things are going to be working more on the fascia, which is the holding pattern of the whole body. Some things are going to be growing the muscles more. Like it's all in there. Let's press the pelvis up and make circles. And you want a variety pack. Like some things are like if we do deep breath work, inhale, exhale, using your lungs, integrating the breathing with the movement, it's going to have a very different effect than just forcing something in and not paying any attention to the breath. And people are often like, oh, should I be inhaling or exhaling here? And there is an answer to that, but there's also like listen to your own body and what makes the most sense in your body. If you give your body the chance and you think about it, like where do I want to inhale? Where do I want to exhale? It can go in many different ways, but probably there's going to be stuff that starts to make sense in your body. All right, let's come up as high as we can and then just pull and push. Try not to hold your breath here. Feel what's happening in the push-pull. And then slowly roll it down through your spine, all the way down to the floor, and release down. So A lot of the exercises that I do and that I offer are combo platters, right? We do stuff where we're going to be stretching and opening. We do stuff where we're going to be strengthening. We do stuff where we're hydrating the tissue and sort of toning the nervous system by moving through different patterns. Like we can move through an upper versus lower pattern compared to a right versus left pattern compared to a contralateral pattern. And so while you're working out or doing your whatever you're doing, listen to your body like, oh, I've done all this opening and closing from the side to side. Now I need to do something crossing or twisting. If you listen in, your body will tell you. All right, let's take our hands behind our head and do a cross body crossing, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Drop it down. Relax your head, neck, and jaw. Let's just do a theta breath here for a minute. So it'll be a big inhale, and then soft hiss exhale, like you're deflating very gently a balloon or an air mattress. And let's free up the spine as we do that. So this is really, ideally, we're moving towards novel movement, not making a plan, not going, okay, we're doing this, we're doing that, but going, okay, I'm going to free flow the spine. I'm just going to allow it to move. So we're getting spaciousness inside our spinal cord, lots of room. If there's any parts that feel kind of stuck, let's just invite some fluidity into that, and let's do a few more a few more times with the theta breath. Close your eyes and imagine that this movement doesn't add tension to your body, but it just drops it all away. So as we're in this flow, it's like you're floating in the water, letting the water just move you, right? You can't fight the water. I mean, you can, but you can also just be in it and allow movement. So there's that idea of predictive processing where we know what we're going to do next, and so we're making these plans. But then there's also this idea of simply allowing, being like in the flow of the river, in the flow of the wave, where you don't have any control and you're just allowing. You're not imposing, you're simply allowing. So that's a great practice to do first thing in the morning in bed, especially if you have back pain, is just to give yourself, it can be 2 minutes of free flow movement in your spine. So you're offering this spaciousness and this movement from your brain through your spinal cord out through your nervous system. And it's not like, oh, it has to stop once it gets past your spine. It can go all the way out to your fingers and toes. But we're thinking of that initiation, that initial movement happening in here, that head-tail connection. All right, let's get a little more specific and open up into an X. We're going to go contralateral again, elbow to knee, crossing your body, coming into midline, and then reaching back out to the edge. So again, here's this core distal pattern, center to edge. When we're working that core distal pattern, we're encouraging the life in our fingers and in our toes, right? That we're getting this inner to outer relationship. If you want to make it a little harder, exhale, inhale, take your head off the floor or leave it on the floor. If your neck or back are bothering you, just leave your head down. And now let's change it to a straight arm and straight leg, coming up, find midline and bring it back out. Coming to that center. If there was a point right out in front of you, find that and aim towards it. I'm looking at mine to see if it's pretty close to. Yeah, so I can see that I am actually coming. If I really wanted to go to the center, I got to balance my body a little bit more. I'm favoring the height here. So it's up to you. You can play with that as in any way you want. Last one. Come in, relax into the floor. Just let's roll from side to side, letting your head weight really drop down. You can open and close. I'm just holding onto my knees for now, but I'm going to start unfolding in a minute. Let this massage out your back. And then you can add the arms and legs opening and closing. Rolling from one side to the other. Good. And let's come back into center. And let's do something a little more exercisey. I have a block. I have to hide the block all the time because the little guy, Squeaky Deaky, not the little guy anymore, but he likes to attack it. This block has been munched and scratched. I'm like, I don't understand how that is an interesting thing, but there is something about fitness stuff that cats love, right? Sol's cat was scratching away at her mat. My cats love to do that. So it's like you got to protect that stuff from little beasts. Arms over your head, block between your thighs. You're going to squeeze in, exhale, coming up, pulsing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, touch down. Exhale, let's do a shh. Just feel how that changes the relationship of your core. Inhale, open. Exhale. Now let's change it so that we inhale, we take our legs up to the ceiling, and then lower them down to like 45 degrees. Inhale. Exhale, 90. Inhale, open. Exhale. Inhale, fill up your lungs. Exhale. 2 more. Deep breath in. Exhale. Last one. And relax. Take your block out. Drop down. And turn your head from side to side. Yeah, adding that sh integrates the abs better because your suddenly diaphragm abs are working together. Permission to breathe out loud and to make noise with our breath. It's such an interesting thing. Let your spine free up. So I'm wagging my tail, moving my head, inviting my shoulders to relax. Oh, and I brought my weights in here. There they are. If you have weights, grab them. If you don't have any, don't use them. You could grab a can or a bottle, a jug of something. I'm going to knock my knees together, pigeon toe feet, knock knees, and circle around with the weights. Inhaling, open. Exhale, close. Arms like wings of the lungs. If it's stressful to add the breath and to think about the breath, I don't know. I mean, I feel like for me, it's not stressful to think about the breath in movement. Sometimes it's stressful to think about the breath with meditation or even breathing practices. So if it's stressful, then let go of it, but try to not hold your breath. I changed direction. I don't know if you did, but feel free to change direction. Two more. And then come in. And let's take if you have a weight, use weight in each hand, arms up, just internally, externally rotate. This shouldn't feel like you're really doing anything. It should feel really easy. Feel your scapula moving around on your back. So my scapula kind of winging out and up and then down and in as I'm moving my arms. Right? So there's a bunch of muscles under your scapula. It's between your rib cage and your scapula, your subscapularis. I think your teres major, minor, I don't know. There's a bunch of things under there. I can't remember what they're all called. But we want them to have mobility, right? So this is one of the things that I think, sort of rigid, aristocratic, military thinking in our bodies makes them very rigid. And that's not the healthiest way to be. Like rigid bodies don't have a lot of movement, and therefore the muscle tissue, the hydration isn't really happening. And even that idea of like, oh, I've got really good posture. The ballet dancer, the ballet dancer may be not a great thing because they're moving a lot, but having this kind of mobility in our bodies, in our shoulders, where it can go up, it can go down, it can go out, it can come in. We want that. And that is also going to contribute to breathing health, right? When we have mobility on the outside, we're going to have more mobility on the inside. All right, let's flip over onto hands and knees. And let's just go for some more mobility for our lungs. And I'm going to take off my fancy pink sweater. And hands and knees, big circles. I'm going to open my hands slightly wider than my mat, dipping my chest into the floor, mobilizing ribcage, lungs, and heart. So what feels good to me right now is doing like a full exhale all the way around and a full inhale. It might be different for you. Listen in. What feels good? Change direction. I can really slow my exhale and get around there a few times. It's really easy for me to extend my exhale for a long time, but it's much harder for me to extend my inhale for a long time. So when we're inhaling more, we're up regulating. When we're exhaling more, we're down regulating. So sometimes like slowing the exhale is going to take us into a more relaxed somatic state. Interestingly, I was listening to the Huberman podcast yesterday on focus. And one of the things that they said that I found really interesting, and it kind of makes sense, is that often people who are very anxious have more capacity to focus. So you can think of that anxiousness also as being very alert up in your nervous system, ready to pay attention. Like what is hypervigilance, but attending to a lot of things? It's a kind of focus, right? So it may not feel very good, but it does allow certain things. So sometimes we think of how many genius musicians that have anxiety or like really awkward with people, but can focus intently on playing music for a super long time. Just throwing that out there. I thought this was fascinating. Let's curl your toes under in the back, push through your heel and arch. Then you're going to come over the front of your foot, push down into the floor and curl. Heel pushes back and arch. You can bend your elbows if you want, and then push with the arms. Curl, hollow, and round. Heel back and arch, push over your toes and curl. Yeah, so sometimes it's not all bad. Whatever like the anxiety problem, change it to the other side. Arching, reaching back, pushing down, right? Like we drink caffeine to be able to be awake and focused, right? Or even nicotine, right? I think that wakes people up and gives them more zzzt. And I'm fascinated to find that some of these neuroscientists are using nicotine. They're not smoking cigarettes. They're like, I don't know how they're doing it. I think like Nicorette or like different things that have a smaller way of dosing themselves just to give them a little bit more focus and edge. And to be honest, it's insane. I mean, all the things people will take and do, that's insane to me, in my opinion. Let's take our one leg out behind you. You're going to lift it up, take it out to the side and lower down, up to the back and down. Breathing however you want. I'm inhaling up and then exhaling down. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Yeah, so that's on a recent Huberman podcast, which you can find anywhere. And then change it to the other side. Other leg. Inhale up and exhale. Imagine your breath lifting your leg. So the lightness of your breath picks the leg up. Exhale brings it down. Let's do two more. That was halfway through. So two more from here. Last one. Take your knees back, big circles with your hips. And change direction other way, letting your femur head have some pull in different directions as you're circling around. So this would be super healthy for your hip sockets, right? Because we're circling our pelvis over our legs, right? And that is round movement on top of that ball and socket joint. Happy days. Let's take it down, drop into it. From here, we're going to inch our fingers up to our ears, and then we're going to, oh, it's not going to work on my mat. Maybe I have to do it on the carpet. Try it this way. Yeah, okay. The pile of the carpet is in the wrong direction for me to go that way. And now I've got my nose in a pile of cat hair. Walking your fingers out, and then you're just going to engage under your scapula and draw them down, and your lats also. So lats are pulling down. Fingertips walk out. Kind of press into the floor. Pull and widen in the shoulder blades. Walk it up. You could even think of pulling from your tail. Shoulders widening down. Fingers up, 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 up. And then down, pushing into the floor. One more. And let's bring that all the way up and do this. So it's going to be, depending on how it feels in your body, you can make it easier by keeping your weight back on your knees. But if it feels good, take your weight forward onto your arms. And then you're going to bend your elbows towards the floor, come up to your tippy fingers. Bend the elbows towards the floor and up. Down, up. We're going to add something. You're going to come up and you're going to spiral. Elbows in and out. It's kind of a weird thing, but this is like too much time on the typewriter on the keyboard, too much time on your phone. Get this three-dimensional movement in your arms. And let's try it coming all the way up to our fingertips and the same thing. Elbows internally and externally rotating, letting that move into your shoulder blades. Take it back down, come back up onto your tips of your fingers, in and out. Good, and let that go. Did I say I was recovering from COVID? I had COVID. I got through it as fast as I could, went down to the city and performed. And now that I've come back, I feel like now I'm recovering. I like willed myself right through that. And I did test negative, so I was fine to be there doing that stuff, but that doesn't mean that you're actually feeling great. Anyway, which I was fine when I was down there, although, yeah, I'm not saying anything else about that. I did it. It's done. It was super fun. Pulsing up. And now I'm really like, oh my God, my body needs some serious recuperative time. Pressing up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Take it down. Hands on your knees. Just pull back, round your spine, curl. Breathe. But for me, the recuperative time doesn't mean lay in bed and do nothing. It means do the lymph flush, take a walk outside, spend a lot of time meditating. Like it means do the things that are healthy for me and also eat really healthy. Like that is such a massive thing. Eat healthy and catch up on sleep. So, yeah, sleeping, eating, healthy food, enough sleep, so important for us. All right, I want to do another thing here with this. So hopefully your wrists have had a little break. I think this is going to work best with fingertips pointing out, but we'll find out in a minute. You're going to press up and then lift an arm up and take it down. Press up, lift, lower down. Press up, lift, lower down. Press up, lift, down. Press up, open the front of the hips and lower. This could be, you could do this here with one arm there. So if the wrists are hurting, you have an option of doing it down on the floor also. So it's so important that we spend time with the front of our hips open since we are such a seated, immobile culture in general. So getting those pelvis up, back of the body working to push forward. Inhale up, exhale down. And let's take it all the way down onto our forearms. I'm going to flip around so I'm on the sunny side. And forearm plank. Let's do knee parallel, cross under, knee to shoulder, parallel, twist, shoulder, parallel, twist, shoulder, parallel, twist, shoulder, one more time. Twist, shoulder, and take it all the way down. Oh, and here we have the pea pod. She's been hiding somewhere behind the couch, I think. All right, down onto your belly, bend your knees, let your legs fall from side to side. Yeah, so the other thing for me, like recuperatively, I was dancing in the city and it was a full hour-long show, which required a certain amount of stamina, but it wasn't the same kind of strength as what I'm doing in pole. And so, yeah, I haven't been working that kind of strength as much. So coming back in my recuperation is like, I can't rush back to where I was before. I gotta take my time, let myself build back up to my strength. Arms out to the sides, circles. And I think that's the thing. As you get older, you just have to get smarter, which doesn't always work. I've done a lot of stupid things, change direction. But like, yeah, I fell off the pole, I got COVID, and then I was in the city doing a show, right? All of these great things happened. Inhale up, exhale down. Last one. Take it back to your child's pose. Yeah, and so for me, like anytime, like when I'm injured or whatever, it's not a full stop. It's a, okay, what can I do now? How do I move with this? Or even if I'm really sick, that's pretty much a full stop. But once I didn't have a fever anymore from COVID, then I was doing the Limp Flush a ton. Like I was doing the Tibetan rites, doing some gentle breath work. And then take it up. And let's come into, we're going to do the push-ups with the knee pop. So I'm going to do them with my knees on the floor for the push-up, and then I'll pop them off afterwards. So I'm going to do a tricep push-up with my elbows into my sides, and then come up, lift my knees. Tricep push-up, knees pop. If you're stronger, you could do your push-up and then do a knee drop in the middle. It's just going to add a little extra to the work. So knees up or down between each one. Three more. 2. Last one. Let's take it to a dog. Reach your butt to the ceiling, bend one knee, bend the other, look under your armpit, free up your spine, heels down, getting that little pedal through the back of the legs, and then release. Coming forward, let's open up into a straddle again, opening wide. This time we're going for our biggest straddle, whatever that is, and side stretch. Breathe into it. It's my birthday. This is the truth. I just looking at my phone for a second to see what time it is, and a bunch of people are happy birthdaying me. And I have to say, it's actually stressful. Oh my God, it's overwhelming. I forget other people's birthdays. I remember it the day before, and then on the day of, I just forget. And I feel like that's kind of how I would like it to be with my birthday too. I mean, of course, it's lovely to get attention. Let's face our knee. But it's also, life is just life, right? It's the birthday. Great. I feel like me and Anthony celebrate so often that it's like, well, who cares? We don't need to celebrate this particularly. Flex your feet, take it forward, breathe into it, taking it down as far as you can go. If you need to bend your knees there, go for it. But we are planning to meet up with Georgina later. There's some kind of, I can't remember what it's called. It's some kind of like B movie with Lon Chaney Jr. that's playing at the Rosendale Theater tonight. Some kind of like horror movie. So we're probably going to go to that. But it's at 10 o'clock and that's a little late for me. So we'll see. Maybe we won't. Let's do it one more time. Side stretch. Let's inhale, open. Spiraling and exhale towards your knee. Inhale, open. Finding fluidity through the movement. Inhale, open. Exhale. What if we valued gracefulness and flow in the way that we value strength in our society? Let's open it up over to the other side. Ha. Inhale, open. What if that's what we were really going for? Some grace, some fluidity, some ease of being. Inhale, open. Ease of movement. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Ha. And yeah, if that was something that we all were aiming towards, like, oh, could I be a little more gracious in this moment? Could I be a little bit more easy with what's going on? Bring it in. Bang it up and down. And also, I think that that's like one thing when we do spend time in fitness or in dance or somatics, starting to notice what's going on in my body. What do I feel? And instead of forcing it into something, we're in a more of an allowing place. Let's cross one knee over the other, fold underneath, so that we're not objectifying our body like, oh, I got to fix this and this should be more like that. But we're like in the experience of it, of like, oh, what's this like today? Where am I today? Not, I've got the, I'm forcing my body into these crazy things, says the person who pole dances. So you can take that with as much seriousness as you like. Take it forward and down. Because I do like to force my body into crazy positions also, but I have this underlying support. And ideally, I'm listening to my body while I'm on the pole or while I'm doing my crazy stuff. Big breathing. And unscramble. And my fall off the pole is on YouTube. It's in the shorts. And if you look at it, you can see that my top hand slides, and that's where it all ends. Top hand slides down. I'm in this upside down position in a Russian split, and then top hand slides, and I'm not that far from the floor, thank God. So I didn't horribly hurt myself, but it does rattle you a little bit. Take it to the other side. Jangle the nerves. And when we say jangling the nerves, like with a fall, you did jangle your nerves. There's like, your nervous system had to do something, right? Take it down, melt. So when things happen, like that's a real thing. There is trauma in the nervous system. There is from actual falling or, hurting yourself. And there are ways to release that, really soft, gentle ways of being in your body or shaking things out. Animals in nature, when they have like some kind of injury or something, they often do that shaking thing. And that's like letting the nervous system play out. But humans have learned how to inhibit a lot of our recuperative responses. So the culture has taken over. And then come up and unscramble, shake out your legs, bang them up and down, rotate in and out. Just give them a little squeeze. Feel in with your hands. Like, what does it feel like? This knee is so much better, but there's still some weirdness in it. And I have to say, in the show that we did, like, oh my God, we spent like forever in these squats and getting up and down from squats. I was like, holy crap. I was kind of amazed that I could do it at all. All right, let's take it to a squat and just roll forward, knees towards the floor, and then roll it back, heels towards the floor. If you can touch down, great. If you can't, no worries. Just going forward and backward. Letting your hands do whatever they need to. You can take them behind you. You can take them in front. Yeah, I can feel that this right knee is still weird, but it's way better. And that injury just came out of nowhere. I don't know. I think it was from squatting too much in the garden. Open it wide. Shift from side to side. Let it go. Let your head, tail, and neck soften. Spine releasing. Maybe make some sound. So that nitric oxide humming that I was talking about earlier, like you could spend, 5, 10 minutes just humming. It'll slow down your exhale. You don't have to sing a song or anything. In fact, it's easier if you're just doing like a single note. The lower notes are going to vibrate more lower in your body. The higher notes are going to vibrate more high up in your head. You'll be able to feel that if you start to tune into it. Inhale, open. Shake it out, let it go. Tongue, neck, throat. Inhale. Core distal, center to edge relationship. Waking it up. Shake out those hands. Just encouraging flow of energy, blood flow, lymph flow, nervous system. So you've got your central nervous system down the middle, peripheral nervous system going all the way out to those distal edges, that periphery of your body, right? We want to have some relationship to that. So just feel into that space for a second. Again, giving your wings, the wings of the heart, the wings of the lung, some mobility, right? Where they can move in different ways. If everybody just took a few minutes every hour that they're on a computer and did this kind of, or their phones, this kind of like, well, this isn't really flamenco dancery, but maybe a little bit. Flamenco dancer arms, but maybe bird fluid arms. We'd have healthier rotator cuffs, healthier wrists, all that stuff. All right, that is it. I am going to close out the live stream. And please like and subscribe. And if you feel like it, you can give me money. There is Patreon, PayPal, all the things.